Hey everybody, and welcome back or welcome to another one of my videos. My name is Lauren Porter and you're watching Quarters with Porter. So for today's video, it is finally NFL playoffs time, y'all. I can't even believe that the NFL regular season is already over. Like, what? I swear that regular season literally flew by, but it is now time for the postseason, and unfortunately my team is not in the postseason for what, the 6th season in a row. But that's a different story for a different day. Today, I am going to be doing my NFL playoff predictions. Just a disclaimer before we get into this video. These are just predictions, like, do not take them that seriously. We have a lot of teams and a lot of rounds to get through, so let's go ahead and get this video started. So our very first round of the NFL playoffs is the wild card round. And in the wildcard round, we have 12 teams, 6 from each conference. Let's start off with the AFC. The first game that we have for the AFC is the Browns versus the Texans. And for this game, I just want to say shout out to CJ Stroud because he really did his big one. Like, I wish that was my quarterback. So this game is in Houston. Deshaun Watson is out for the season, so he will not be facing his former team. Instead, the Browns are going to have quarterback Joe Flacco. Me personally, I'm a CJ Stroud fan. I believe he is the offensive player rookie of the year. And this game is also in Houston. And while the Browns have actually had a pretty solid season, I'm going to be taking Houston in this one. The Texans do have a couple injuries and the Browns defense is pretty solid. But I'm still going to take Houston on this one just because it's a home game. But it honestly depends on who's going to be playing on game day. But just for the video purposes, I'm going to go with the Texans. So the next game that we have is one of my favorite wild card matchups. We have the Dolphins versus the Chiefs. The Dolphins fumbled the bag and now they have to play in Kansas City. Kansas City has one of the best NFL atmospheres. They have one of, if not the loudest NFL stadium. So playing on the road for the Dolphins, I don't know if it's going to work in their favor. Where the Dolphins did get lucky at is that Kansas City is not giving Kansas City from last season. Kansas City has been really shaky throughout the season, and obviously they have a receiver problem and everyone on the team keeps dropping the ball. Even though Kansas City has had a very questionable season this year, I'm still going to take them in this game just because of the atmosphere of Arrowhead Stadium. It's going to be hard for any team to win in a road game in Kansas City, but a playoff game is going to be even harder to win. So I'm going to have to go with Kansas City in this one. The Dolphins also have a lot of players out on injury on their defense. And I honestly just feel like Kansas City just has a lot of playoff experience. I mean, come on now, they were last year's Super Bowl champions. So I just don't see them being first round exits, even though they've had some questionable games. I feel like they'll pull it together, at least for the first round of the playoffs. But don't get me wrong, the Dolphins definitely could win this one. So for the next game, we have the Steelers versus the Bills. And I have no idea how the Steelers found themselves in the NFL playoffs this year. So shout out to Mike Tomlin because he took this team to the playoffs. This game was an easy choice for me. I'm definitely going with the Buffalo Bills. I do not see the Steelers beating the Bills in Buffalo. And the Bills are hot right now. They ended up winning their division. They are 7-2 at home. I just feel like this game definitely is in their favor. Now let's get into the NFC. The first game that we have is the Green Bay Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like this game is definitely going to be a close one. It can honestly go either way. Shout out to Jordan Love because he really has filled in the spot of Aaron Rodgers and is doing a great job. I definitely see him being the future franchise quarterback of the Packers. The Packers do not tend to lose in AT&T Stadium, which is where they'll be playing because the Cowboys will be playing at home. And I feel like the Cowboys having that home team advantage for this game is definitely going to work in their favor. I feel like Dak Prescott is one quarterback that tends to just have a huge question mark around him because sometimes he looks amazing and other times he looks a mess. But this year he's actually been a pretty solid quarterback And you know, CeeDee Lamb is one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. The Cowboys are undefeated at home this season, so I'm gonna be going with the Cowboys on this one. The next game is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Detroit Lions, and for this game, whew, it's a mess, y'all. So this game is a mess because it's a quarterback face-off of their former teams. So you have Matthew Stafford, who will be returning to the Lions. Then you have Jared Goff, who is going to be returning to the Rams. Not technically returning, because I mean, he's not playing at home, but y'all know what I mean. This game is definitely going to be one of the best games out of the wild card round. This game is going to be loud and crazy. The Lions have not seen the playoffs in who knows how long. The Lions are the best that they have been in years, and they also have the longest losing streak in the NFL playoffs with a whopping 9 games. The Lions are struggling with a little bit of injuries right now, and the Rams are hot. They are a hot team right now. They definitely could beat the Lions at home, but I'm gonna go with the Lions on this one. I feel like the Lions are finally going to break that 9-game losing streak. I have hope in them. The last game that we have for the wild card round is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This game makes me sick because that should have been my Falcons in that spot, but it's all good. I would like to see the Eagles win this game because I do love Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts, he has not been giving. The Eagles have lost their last 5 out of 6 games. Like, what is really going on right now? Like, what do y'all have going on? Jalen Hurts also, I don't know if y'all saw that picture of his finger. I'm not even gonna show y'all, just look it up if you're interested because it's nasty, but he has some injury problems. He has not been playing the same. The whole team is just a mess. But Baker Mayfield isn't 100% either. Also has been a little bit questionable. So this game honestly could go either way because the Bucs aren't like a super good team as to where it's like, oh, they're gonna walk all over the Eagles. But the Eagles, what have they even been doing these past couple of games? So who knows what Eagles team is going to show up this day. But I'm gonna have to go with Tampa Bay just because of how questionable the Eagles have been. That's another game that could really go either way. So now let's get into round 2 of the NFL playoffs. We have the divisional round, so we have 8 teams remaining. In the AFC, the first game that we have is the Chiefs and the Ravens. We finally have our bye teams back with the Ravens and the 49ers. So the Ravens will be coming off of being nicely rested and ready to play. Is he quarterbacky enough for y'all now? Like, has he proven that he is worthy now? The Chiefs have got to get Patrick Mahomes some help. So for this game, I am definitely going with the Ravens. I think that the Ravens will beat the Chiefs. I do not think, honestly, the Chiefs stand a chance in this game. The next game that we have is the Texans versus the Bills. Unfortunately, I think this is where we're going to say goodbye to Houston because I have the Bills winning this game. Houston is just a very young team, but their future is definitely bright. But I'm just gonna have to take the Bills on this one. Now for the NFC, we have the Lions versus Cowboys, and this is another crazy matchup that I cannot wait to see. Lions have a lot to prove, especially in the playoffs. So I would love to see them win this game. These teams matched up in week 17 of the NFL, and the Cowboys did win this game at 20-19. But it was a very controversial win, so it wasn't like they just walked all over the Lions or anything. This game is a super hard choice for me to make on who I feel like is gonna win because the Lions most definitely could beat the Cowboys, but I'm just gonna go with the Cowboys again just because this will be another home game for the Cowboys. They haven't lost at home. I think they might have this one in the bag. And for our next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the San Francisco 49ers. Welcome back, Brock Purdy and the team. The 49ers offense is completely insane. That team is stacked. Like, ooh, that roster is crazy. So I'm obviously going with the 49ers on this one. It's not a hard choice. Like, if the Bucs were to beat the 49ers in the playoffs, like, I don't even know what I would do. Like, in what world are the Bucs beating the 49ers? So now we have our conference championship. We have 4 teams remaining. So in the AFC championship, I have the Ravens versus the Bills. So for this game, we have Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, and y'all already know who I'm taking. I'm definitely taking Lamar Jackson. I love what the Ravens have been doing this season, and I love what Lamar Jackson has been doing this season. I'm just really rooting for Lamar Jackson this season because I would love to see him win and prove all of his haters wrong. So I'm most definitely taking the Ravens in this game. I think that the Ravens are definitely going to find their way back to the Super Bowl. They haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2012. But I think this is their year. Next game that we have is the 49ers versus the Cowboys. And I think this is where the Cowboys are going to say goodbye. They are not going to the Super Bowl. I do not see them beating the 49ers. And now we're finally at the big game of the season, the Super Bowl. I'm so excited for this year's Super Bowl, especially if the matchup ends up being what I'm predicting, which obviously I have the 49ers and the Ravens, just like probably every other person on this planet. This game is a must-watch, must-see game. You know, it's just like the Christmas Day game where the Ravens did end up beating the 49ers, but it was still an amazing game. What I love about this matchup is it is 2 incredible offenses up against each other. I hope that this is a very high scoring, intense Super Bowl. You know, we hate to see blowouts. A lot of championships lately have been so boring because they've just been blowout after blowout, and I'm tired of it. I want to see a good game, a good, tight, intense game that is high scoring and just, you know, really gets your heart pumping. If the Ravens are playing like how the Ravens play, which I'm sure they will, then the Ravens most definitely will win this game. The 49ers will give them a run for their money, don't get me wrong, but for the 2024 Super Bowl, I have the Baltimore Ravens winning this year's Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson got some help this year and he is on fire. He has been doing his big one all season. So I'm excited to see how he's going to perform in the Super Bowl. These defenses are going to have to come through in this game. Defense is really going to be the deciding factor of who's going to win because you got to stop these offenses. Those are my 2024 NFL playoff predictions. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think about who I have winning and losing these games. You know, next year my team will be back in the playoffs and it's over with for all of y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching today's video. Be sure to subscribe for more sports content from your girl, and I will see y'all later.